Today I'm calling my friend Tony Ward in Mexico to catch up. Tony is a BBC, British-born Chinese, and we met in London when we were in our 20s. So he was studying fine art at Kingston University while I was studying graphic design at Central St. Martin's. Tony is a super loyal friend and I can always count on him for everything, including my spontaneous invite to Boogie at Heaven, the legendary London gay club. At this stage of our lives, I'm so glad we never hooked up. Keep listening for the twist to find out why.
Hello.
Hello, Tony. Hello, Na. How are you?
Oh my God. I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Very
Morning,
good.
Tony.
Jason's here as well.
Hey, Jason.
How you doing?
I'm good.
How's Mexico?
I think we're like 14-hour difference. I think it's your morning and my evening. Mexico is good.
Wait, hold on. Where exactly are you again in Mexico?
I'm in Puerto Vallarta on the Pacific coast.
So how far is that from Mexico City?
Maybe about just over an hour flight.
Oh.
It's not that far.
Oh. So I went to Mexico in my early 20s with two girlfriends. And then last minute, they invited a girl that I've never met in my life, and she joined, and we did not get along. I mean, it was a fucking shit show. And then we got to Mexico, and I was like really trying hard to be nice. And I mean, she was all right, but you know when you don't click with someone for whatever reason?
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not the kind of person that conform, because I was like, I pay for this fucking trip. I'm going to do whatever hell I want. And it was a kind of different agenda with them because, you know, first of all, they're all very British girls, which I love. But when I go on holiday, it's all about just, you know, seeing stuff that I want and then good food and just absorb, you know, the local vibe, right?
Not the 1830s holiday that British girls used to go to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm the type of person that wear like a turtleneck when they're all in their spaghetti strap vest top. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The night before, I was like, girls, I can't do this. I'm just going to go by myself and then have a great trip, and I'll see you back in London.
So where did you go?
So I left them. So we landed in Cancun. We didn't stay because it was a shit show there. It was so touristy and it was just like gross. And then it's
very American as well.
Yeah. Part of me was like, oh, traveling by myself in Mexico City, that's going to be a challenge. And being Chinese.
You are so brave.
Yeah. I actually think
as a girl as well in Mexico City in your 20s, seriously? Oh my God.
I mean, I'm very street smart, even in my 20s. So no one like fucking messed with me, right? You know, with this resting bitch face, even back then. So anyway, so I met this guy on the bus, and this is a crazy fucking story, right? And if my son does that, I'll be like very worried. Or if I had a daughter, if she does that, I'll be like, for God's sake, what were you thinking? So basically, I met this guy who was Mexican.
Yeah.
He seems really nice, and we were chatting. He spoke very good English. And then we hung out for a bit, had lunch, and then he was just staying there for one night to transit to another city. And then he hadn't booked a hotel, and I booked a hotel, and my hotel was like, you can sleep about 4 people in my room. I was like, oh, just come and hang out with me, just stay with me. And I don't know what I was thinking. So he stayed with me for a whole night. Nothing happened, right? And I can tell I'm very good with reading people, even in my 20s. So I knew he wasn't dodgy. I knew he wasn't going to try anything. I mean, to be honest, if he was going to try something, I would have like kicked the shit out of him. You know, do you know what I mean? Like, Jason's watching this just going, what the hell were you thinking?
I know, it's just like, what?
And you know what?
Even I'm going like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so seriously.
I mean, I've traveled on my own. I think even I'm not that brave when I'm in a Latin country. Even as a guy, I think I heard so many stories about, you know, people befriending you and then they kind of spike your drinks and stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, as a woman traveling on your own, my God, you got balls.
Yeah, and then...
Gutsy, very gutsy.
I didn't...
Yes.
He didn't try anything, you know, on the night. And we were getting on quite well, whatever and stuff, right? So he left early in the morning. He was very polite. I think I know how to pick those men, right? So he was very polite.
Yeah.
And then he left his little teddy bear toy. That's how I know that he's actually quite innocent, because he had a teddy bear with him or some kind of like soft toy.
Oh, maybe he's gay.
Maybe, you know, which is great. I love gay men. That's why we probably got on really well. He didn't want to come out with, you know, come out to me, and they didn't know how to, right? So anyway, so he left and left his toy, and then he called the hotel, And so he left his toy, and I just left his toy at the reception, and that was it. But that trip was so cool. And then I met loads of like single solo travelers. Nothing happened. Yeah. So then I went back to meet my friends on the last day in the airport, and it was fine. So that was my Mexico story.
You've got to come and visit again. Mexico City, you'll love. It's very hip, edgy, a bit like Shoreditch, that sort of crowd. Oh. Pascal was here last year. I would describe Mexico as a bit like Spain, Italy, with an Aztec sort of like heritage. It's quite an interesting place. Though I am selling up because I moved there during the pandemic.
I remember.
It was 4 years ago. And really? It's been great.
Because I remember you guys asking, because we just moved to Perth and you're like, wow, you guys just took off. And there was, you just, and then you have a family.
I know.
And I was like, yeah, fuck that, get out of a bad situation,
No, definitely.
So Jason, I don't think we ever told you how we met in London.
No.
I mean, that we met through Yuko and Pascal.
Wasn't it? Yeah, but didn't your mum make the connection?
Oh my God, Tony. Do you remember that fucking story?
Oh.
So basically, tell Jason how we met initially.
So I obviously met Grace for Yuko because they did foundation together, and then subsequently Yuko went to the same uni as me in Kingston.
Right.
And she introduced me to Grace and Dreyfus as a friend. And we kind of hang out. Yeah, and we kind of hang out a little bit.
What was your first impression?
In London.
Give me your first impression.
The thing was...
Where was it? I can't remember.
It was in Chinatown.
Of course it was.
Of course. Shopping a dim sum in my face.
And so just so you know, Jason, I studied fine art.
Yes.
So just imagine grunge back in the 90s type thing.
Sure can.
Britpop. And then I met Grace, and she's literally like dressed top to bottom, black, stylish, super model like. And I was like, oh my God, who the hell is that kind of thing?
I seriously don't remember.
Is that the redhead stage of Grace?
No, because I was at Yuko and I were at Chelsea College for foundation year. I can't remember.
Yeah. But the kind of defining moment when me and Grace became like really good friends was in Hong Kong that summer, 1995, Grace.
Rave. We went to so many raves in Hong Kong. Oh my God, it was so much fun.
So I used to sneak out because I was staying with my nan. I was...
all I remember that period was every time I asked Tony... every time I asked Tony to come out for a drink, he would say to me, my nan just gave me a huge bowl of soup. I'm so full.
She was like, feed me.
Oh my God.
I can't drink anymore. I'm going to piss myself. I can't get out of drinking. But I have to wait till she goes to sleep at 11. So I used to sneak out at 11 because in Hong Kong, like, everyone would have dinner. So you never meet anyone for dinner because they have to do family dinner. So afterwards, we would then meet up at 11. And this is how connected Grace and Dreyfus was. Like, Dreyfus was a bit of a DJ as well. So he kind of really connected in that sort of exclusive underground scene.
Yeah. So
Grace would say, oh, let's go to like the basement of like the Hyatt or whatever. And then there would be some crazy like rave going on. I always remember like dancing to Chemical Brothers with you and Dreyfus. And you'd be like completely losing it on stage. And then...
of course, on stage.
Yeah.
Definitely the best summer I've ever had in Hong Kong. So that was how me and kind of like Grace like really bonded.
Right.
And so one year, Grace's mum came to visit during the Mid-Autumn Festival.
Yep.
And my mum was away on holiday. So Grace invited me along to come out for dinner because I was on my own. So Grace felt sorry for me.
I'm like, loser, come out for dim sum with us. My mum's here. Save me. Distract her so she doesn't ask me questions.
And I was chatting to Grace's mum, and she was... I've kind of met her before, but she was kind of asking my questions about my background, and I think we were just doing some small talk. So I was telling
Chinese,
her about
right? Mom will grill the shit out of every single one of my friends that I've ever introduced to my mom.
Yeah, that sounds.
Where you from?
Right.
How? What does your family do? Oh, you from Hong Kong? Where do they live? I mean, seriously, I was just like, oh my God, Mom, chill out.
So I was telling Grace's mom, Auntie Lan, about my dad who passed away when I was only 1.5.
Oh, wow.
And then And then also I have an English surname as well. So I was telling her that, my real grandfather disappeared during the war. I think he kind of went out one day and probably killed by the Japanese. And then my gran then met a Welsh naval officer that was based in Hong Kong at the time. And then they kind of fell in love. And then he basically adopted my dad and my auntie and brought one nan back to the UK.
Oh, wow.
So I kind of
amazing.
told her that kind of like my dad's side story. Not really thinking anything.
How did your dad die?
He had brain hemorrhage when he was in his 20s, and I was only 1.5, so don't really have much of a recollection, unfortunately.
Yeah, that must be so hard for your mum at that age.
Yeah.
How old was your mum?
Really, really. I think she was 24 at the time, very young.
And with a baby.
It was really, really tough. She is definitely my role model in terms of strong women, independent, her values and everything. I think that's why I kind of like to hang out with other strong women as well, because that's all I've known growing up.
Yeah.
So I kind of tend to kind of be attracted to make friends with people that aren't necessarily girly girls, but like, hey, don't take the piss or you'll get it type.
Yeah, that's why we're friends.
Yeah, that explains everything.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm friends with Grace, I think. Yeah. So I'm actually so cool.
So after that dinner or lunch that we had with my mom, we went home and then she said, I think Tony is related to us. And I said to my mom, I'm like, Ma, not every Chinese person we meet that, we are related to them. Just because we're from Hong Kong doesn't mean that we're related. I said, don't be ridiculous. And she goes, no, hear me out. So she said, oh, his story is exactly the same as your father's cousin. I'm like, Ma, he has a different surname. What do you mean? And she goes, ask Tony what his dad's name is or was, and then we'll know. So then I called you.
Next morning you rang me up.
I called you and I couldn't get hold of you, I remember, because I left probably 100 messages going, call me. And then finally got hold of you and the name matches.
That's
so we were freaking out that we're actually second cousins?
So the first thing Grace said to me when I answered the phone wasn't like, hey, how's it going? It was like, oh, that was a great night with you. It's like, what's your dad's name? I said,
no messing around.
Andrew.
Gee.
I said, Andrew. I said, no, Chinese name. I said, oh, Chen Shufei. What's that? She said, oh my God, we are related. I said, what the fuck? What are you talking about? I said, oh my God, like your gran and my kind of like granny are like cousins or something like that. And we totally freaked out.
That's hilarious.
So that makes us second cousins, basically, right? Because my dad and your dad, they are first cousins.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That is crazy, isn't it? It's so crazy. I mean, thank God you're gay and then I don't fancy you and then we're going to get married or something, right? Can you imagine?
No, actually, you were going to be my beard at one point because I was trying to keep you in London.
Oh, yeah, that was before I got my residency. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I mean, isn't that crazy how the universe will do something like that?
It's fate, isn't it?
It's totally fate, right? I mean, when my mom brought that up, I just thought she was ridiculous. There's just no way that we're related, And then we met. It's almost like it's meant to be. But how was your, I mean, I can't imagine, like being a mom now, can't imagine, this is like my worst nightmare if I have to single parent. Right? I mean, it happens a lot. And I mean, I can't imagine what your mom was going through. You have a 1.5-year-old baby and then your husband just died, but you have to still continue being a mom and a person. I mean, she probably didn't have time to grieve.
Well, the thing was she, because my dad and her set up a restaurant. So after my dad passed away, she ran the restaurant by herself. And then she was sending money back to Hong Kong to support my granny and my granddad.
So where was this restaurant? So where were you living?
So they met near Richmond.
Okay.
And I think my dad moved to, I think he was based in Windsor. My mom was in East Sheen near Richmond. And then they kind of like met there through a mutual relative. And then when they got them married, because my dad studied hospitality, so he always wanted to own his own restaurant. So they decided to move to a little island called Isle of Sheppey in Kent and open a restaurant there.
Right. I mean, were you guys the only Chinese in the village? Were there a lot of racism?
There was a few people, but I was definitely the only Chinese in my middle school and also secondary school. I was the only
The only
Chinese
gay
person
Chinese
back
in
then.
the village.
I know how diverse. I would have ticked every single
You
box
sure were.
if they have to have
You were.
equality.
Every box on the page.
Not anymore.
No.
I know.
I can't imagine. Like, how was your childhood raised by a single working mom?
It was. I mean, it wasn't because I didn't know any different. I didn't really kind of think about it too much. I was kind of very independent as a child anyway. I think because my mom was like very busy, but I understood the fact that she had to work to support family and she had to educate my uncle into university and masters and stuff. So I know that she sacrificed a lot for the better good of, the family and me and stuff. So I just kind of got on with it, I guess, as a child.
Did she leave you at home most days? I mean, back in the day, like, you can do that. I mean,
no, I would, after school or whatever, I would hang out in the restaurant, have dinner, do my homework, and then when I'm ready to go to bed, or like a few hours before bed, she would then take me home and drop me off. I mean, I know that now it's totally unheard of to leave. I mean, it was about maybe like 10 or 11. I think there was time when I was left alone when I was younger. I mean, it was only for like a few hours while she was like working or she was like really busy and stuff. Because I used to hang out in a restaurant, but it wasn't really a place for a really young kid. But then my granny from Hong Kong came over to look after me for a few years. And then when I was a bit older, my mum sent me back to Hong Kong to live with my granny back there because she just knew that she can't take care of me and work. So I needed someone at that age. So I went back to Hong Kong with my granny to learn a bit of Chinese and to spend time with her.
For how long?
Probably only for like 2-3 years. I think from 5 to about 8 or 9 or something.
Really?
Right,
So
wow.
that's why your Cantonese is good.
Because I didn't know any better, because I didn't have any siblings or anything like that. I don't really know any better. And I've always enjoyed my own company. I think I was very
independent.
Well, being a Pisces, I'm a bit of a dreamer, so I kind of like daydream a lot. So as a kid, I was just, Mum, we didn't have iPads or anything back in those days. My mum would just buy me lots of like coloring pens, so I kind of just draw. I think that's why I kind of got quite creative and artistic, because I just drew all the time when I was younger.
But this is the thing, right? Nowadays, all the parents just give themselves, their kids iPad. I mean, we're all guilty of that, right? And no judgment.
Yeah.
But when you're bored, back in those days, in the 80s or whatever, 70s, 80s, you really have to be bored and find things to do.
Yeah. I just remember I was just lots and lots of paper everywhere and just drew. That's all I did, and just have a very active imagination.
Yeah, the only way to bore a kid nowadays is you have to switch off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Then there'll be trouble.
Then there's a riot.
Yeah.
I'll be like, bloody deal with it. You are a single child. We only have one child as well, and a boy. I mean, your mom sounds like a tiger mom. I mean, she had to be very strong. Mm-hmm. I'm a very strong mom as well. And sometimes my mom is also a very strong mom. And it's a different kind of way of parenting. I mean, I don't think we can judge our parents on what they did before, because it's just different times. But at the same time, we can't use the boomer way of bringing up kids anymore. It just doesn't work. And I really get annoyed when boomers tell me what to do. I'm like, it's a different time. So, keep your opinions to yourself. It's so different, right? What advice would you give me to not... I'm just interested of what I can improve in my parenting as a tiger mom.
Yeah, I think with an only child, I think the key thing is, I'm speaking from my own experience, is to kind of create a safe space for Theo to talk and you listen. Mm. Because, like you said, tiger mom just tells you what to do. It's her opinion or else type thing. My mom was like that. But now as I grew up, I kind of realized that actually she does it not because of her personality, but she wants the best for the child, to give them discipline, to make them strong so that they kind of grow up and to be resilient. But I think when you're a child, you're kind of like, especially when you're a child as well. And I think what I missed, being in a single parent family and being on my own, was I couldn't really talk to anyone about personal things. And trying to talk to my mom was just impossible.
Oh my God.
And
before I
obviously
forget, you have to tell Jason about the Thailand trip.
Oh God, yeah.
Let's talk about that later. Anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to correct myself. I am not a tiger mom. Nothing wrong with it. If you are, fine, but I'm not. What I am is I don't really care about how his grades are. I drill him on manners and how to read the room and how to say no to people when it doesn't suit him. That kind of upbringing that I like to instill in him to be just a strong person. But anything else, I really don't give a shit because I wasn't very good at studying. And what a fucking hypocrite if I like drill him to go, oh, you have to get A's in this. And he just turned around and said to me, yeah, but you failed your maths GCSE 3 times. I'd be like, oh, do you know what I mean? And I truly believe, because it takes a while, I always being very envious of people that know what the fuck they want to do when they're like 7. You know, I mean, who knows that, right? And I think it's a blessing if you know.
I don't think kids do. I think especially nowadays, I think it's very different to sort of our generation, the kind of like Gen X from the boomer age, where, you know, there's a certain type of profession that you would go for to kind of have like good salary, etc. You know, you have a path that you would go, you know, you went to university, you do X, Y, and Z, you get a job. Because that's very much from a boomer perspective, that's distilled down to us. But I think now we're talking, what's it, Gen Z now, isn't it, for Theo?
No, he's the alpha, right? Is it called
alpha? Is it alpha?
Yeah,
oh my
he's
God.
alpha, yeah. Everyone has a university degree now. So even if you have a university degree, it doesn't guarantee anything. Not like back in the 70s and 80s. It doesn't, it's everywhere.
Definitely not.
And people who have degrees, they're still having like part-time jobs or full-time jobs at cafes, restaurants to make ends meet. So it's a different time. So I
think it's about helping them believe in themselves and being there to kind of, because I think especially after COVID, I think a lot of people have been suffering from, you know, like mental wellness issues, depression and stuff, because they haven't been able to kind of like talk or to able to express themselves. And I think now is an age where people now are a lot more open, wanted to be more authentic. And I think for any child is, you know, rather than them talking to a friend, I know what I would rather be able to do is to, rather than talking to like a counselor, I want to be able to talk to my mum and tell her how I feel and stuff. But I couldn't. That's what I said to my counselor. I wish I can, you know, I admire my mum, I respect her, but I wish I could communicate with her. I wish I can talk to her and be authentic, and for her to just listen to me for once. I'm not saying that I'm right or wrong, but I just want someone to listen to, and what better person to listen to than your own parent.
So what happened when you were sad, when you were younger, like in your teens or you know, early 20s? You don't feel that you could go and say, oh, hey, mom, this happened to me, you know.
No, just bottle it up.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Not once you went to her say, oh, someone's bullying me at school. What should I do? Were you bullied? Were you bullied at school being the only Chinese?
I don't think I was really bullied. I think there was 2 instances where, so one time I think I was maybe like 10, and I think this girl was calling me names, so I chased after her and tripped her up. And then the dinner lady said, what the hell did you do that for? I said, well, she was being really racist. And then she said to me, stick and stone will break your bones, words will never hurt you. And I remember calling back to her and said, well, what if someone calls you a fat slag?
Oh my God. She was like, okay, point taken. Yeah. You win.
Straight to the headmaster. And then another time, I think I was in secondary school, and I think this bully was like picking on me. And then I think I fought back. And because I fought back, nothing really happened. I think it was just one of those bullies that would just pick on someone because they think that he's either like quiet or weaker.
Yeah.
But if you fight back, they just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I think those were the only 2 instances. And I think besides, I was, you know, like most, you know, like Chinese kid, then, you know, you studied really hard to get good grades so that you can do well and stuff. But I also, one of my traits was I know how to befriend the right people.
Which is a very good skill.
I would befriend the hard nuts. so that I feel like a real triad
by
when I'm
giving
saying
them
this.
by giving them like Japanese cool snacks.
Like compliments, help them with homework type thing. Befriend them before they kind of like pick on you type thing. I think I just knew who the kind of like strong people were, and I just kind of gravitate to them and befriend them.
You're like the master politician of the schoolyard.
Yeah.
More like a triad system.
So I remember when someone tried to pick on me, I would just tell them, and then they would beat the shit out of them.
Oh my God, that is too funny.
Well played.
So kind of like, don't make me call her, right? So any incident?
Exactly.
So do you remember any incident that all these years that we've been friends together that I did that for you? Or do you wish that there were incidents that, someone was being an asshole to you and you're like, you know what? Don't make me call her, man. You regret this.
Let me think. I mean, in my company, I don't remember any like major incidents where you completely lost it with someone. Maybe like if I had to call you and say, look, I need a bit of help here, would be when I came out to my mom.
Oh, yes.
I think I would really, I know, I would just love you to be able to say, look.
So where was I when you came up to your mom? We hadn't met yet, right?
No, we have. I was in my third year. I was at uni. I think I wrote to her. I think I told you that I came out to her, but
yeah, I remember you telling me. But where was the invitation? I mean, we are family after all. I can't believe that you didn't invite me.
No, we did. My coming out party?
Yeah. No, with Auntie Ward. I would have been there just going, Auntie Ward, we can all go gay clubbing together. We can go to heaven together in London.
No, I think you would say to her, look, you should be glad that your son's gay, because at least for the rest of your life, you will always be the most special woman in his life. He's got no one to compete with.
I mean, to be honest, like we have if Theo comes out gay, I seriously do not have any problems. I mean, I have so many gay friends and I love, like I really get along with, all of you guys, right? And in some kind of selfish way, I will be quite relieved that I don't have to deal with another difficult bitch like I am. I mean, can you imagine? It will be World War III for Theo to date someone who's just like me. I'll be like, fucking hell, man, get out of my house, you bitch.
That's going to be interesting.
So I'll be quite glad to have
Theo's just like, yeah, I'm gay because my mum would rather me being gay than to deal with like a daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
She made me that way.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I even, tell him now, because I think he's 11 now. I think when he was 8, someone at school was joking about someone being gay as if like it's a bad thing. And I was like, you don't talk, not on my watch. So I told him, there's nothing wrong with being gay. I have a lot of gay friends and they are so fabulous and fun and all of that. So he was listening. But even then I was drilling into him that if you're gay, one day, me and Papa are totally cool with it. And I wouldn't mind having an extra son,
I think it was like a generation thing, and also the pressure from
even
my granny.
Even at our age, come on.
I think my granny would like always say to me, like, "When are you going to get married and have a baby son and have a grandson?" type thing.
You said I can do that with a gay partner as well.
Yeah, well, back then it was more difficult, obviously now.
Yeah.
But I did kind of say to her, okay, I'll adopt a black baby then.
Oh my God. Oh my God, for a Chinese parent to do that is like...
Yeah, that's what I said to my mom over Christmas, and we didn't talk for the whole Christmas.
Oh, really?
Oh my
And the New Year, she was in the worst half. I said, well, if it's good enough for Madonna, it's good enough for you.
Oh,
I mean, some Chinese people are quite racist as well,
Oh, yeah.
It's not just people racist towards us. Some Chinese people are very racist as well.
Yeah.
Especially in Hong Kong, because they don't come across, like black people often. So they don't understand them, So, I mean, that is funny, man. So what happened? Tell Jason about the Thailand. So you came out.
What happened there? I missed all that bit.
Well, okay. So when I came out to my mum, obviously my mum kind of cried and said, oh, I don't know what. So after my graduation, we went on holiday. We went to Hong Kong to visit family. And then me and my mum went to Thailand. This is our first kind of like trip to Thailand ever. And we went to Pattaya. and she decided to book us to those special shows with not just the lady boys, but we're talking like sex show galore.
No.
I mean, can you imagine your mum doing that?
No, thanks, Mum. Yeah.
Maybe she didn't, but I like to believe that she did.
Yeah, she did.
I remember sitting in the audience. And like I think I can handle like candle wax on nipples, but when she started like pulling things between her legs, from razor blades to like goldfish to like a little bird, I think I was traumatized.
Hell yeah.
For life. I think after that, I'm thinking
hearing about it.
I am never going to go down. Ever. Because it's almost like a Mary Poppins bag. Like you just do not know what will come out of it.
Next.
It's so funny. I think your mom was trying to like transform you back to straight, but she doesn't realize that it actually backfired. That would traumatize me.
I don't think that's how you would convert someone to like being straight. It's not a sex thing.
So when all that
happened, is not because.
But when all that was happening down her punani, did you look over to your mum and see what was her reaction? Was she watching, or was she just like head down, or was she just like, oh my God, what have I done?
I don't know. I think the guy said to my mum, because it was like this tour group, the guy said to my mum and said, oh, your face son looked a bit green. Hasn't he seen like a woman before or something like that? Some Chinese guy.
Oh my God. And your mum was like, don't rub it in. He just came out gay. This is why we're here.
Yeah. That is brilliant. And I just remember I was just so traumatized by it all because I was like, right, okay.
Yeah, thanks, Mum. You're not helping.
That is I remember you telling me that story and I couldn't stop like laughing for like 10 hours because I was just like, oh my God, Auntie, that is not a way to do things.
Yeah, no, that's the weirdest reaction I've ever heard to someone coming out to you and taking them straight to see goldfish and razor blades.
Yeah.
Like, really?
You're like, nah.
I'm not sure how her head got to where it got to. I'm like, I can understand your point of view, but it's like, what? Really?
No, it was desperation, right? She just wants to do anything to salvage that, that her son is straight.
I don't think she actually realized. She just think, oh, it's a sex show.
Yeah.
But not realizing how severe it was. She just think, oh, I'll take him to kind of break his virginity by taking him to a prostitute type thing. God. But not whilst they've got razor blades and firing darts into. I mean, they did the whole ping pong ball. I mean, you're Australian, right, Jason? Yeah. So you must have watched Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Yes, love that.
Yeah. So the ping pong ball scene was not exaggerated, but worse in real life.
So you're still getting therapy about this?
They've toned it down for the movie.
That was my childhood trauma.
Yeah, they've toned it down for the movie.
That was my childhood trauma.
That's too funny. But I'm so glad to see how she has changed all these years, and now she's very welcoming to Eddie, right?
I don't really know. We don't really talk about it as such. I think at the moment it's as far as she will go, which is she'll feed us, as in she'll cook really amazing dinner when Eddie comes back.
But that's how Chinese parents show their love. They never ever say "I love you," but they will feed you until you throw up, and that's the way of showing love. Yeah. It's like eat more. Yeah. I love you, but don't mention love. Don't say it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean that's why I say if you've got only child is, I think sometimes because we haven't been able to communicate, and sometimes we need, certainly us. We sometimes need to hear, we need that affirmation. We need that, we can't second guess something. And I wish that I could just, be honest with my mom and be authentic.
Yeah.
And I think being authentic is so important, whether you have, whether it's you at work as a kid. I think one of the things is, I think you will do a really good job bringing up Theo is to be authentic, be who you are. Because him being from a very mixed heritage, only child, he's special, and where does he fit in?
I don't think I have a
Is
problem there,
he
Tony.
Italian? Is he Chinese?
I don't think being authentic, my own self, I don't think I have a problem with that. Sometimes like Jason and Theo were like, God damn it, take it down a notch.
I won't deny that.
Just tone it down.
But it's true. Like sometimes, because I'm strict with him with manners and how he, like, because he has no siblings. So he sometimes, especially when he was younger, he doesn't know how to clap back at people. And I'm the queen of clap back at people because I'm the youngest of 4 children, right? And then he asked me, oh, have you ever been bullied? I'm like, Theo, look at my face. Has anyone dared to bully me with this face? I don't think so, right? So we teach him how to clap back when he first moved here. So he wasn't being picked on, but how kids are, very normal. Like they tease you, they whatever and stuff, And he just doesn't know how to clap back at the beginning. And then it drove me crazy because I'm the queen of clapback. So we teach him a lot. I mean, I give him like ninja training all the time. And he's much better now. But it's really hard for me to watch. So sometimes I know I'm a lot because I want him to be stronger. I want him to be this person. But at the same time, I do accept that he's different from me. And he's a lot more chill like Jason. But I kind of wish sometimes
And there's so many ways to be strong and resilient. And I think sometimes just because he might not demonstrate outwardly that sort of strength straight away, it doesn't mean that he doesn't have the strength in him. Because believe me, he will. He has. I think he would learn from you. It's like subconsciously, he's absorbing the best of you and Jason. I think with my mom, she was fierce. I mean, she's like about 5'2", Jason. Not very. She's quite petite. Yep. Very kind of like very pretty, but very sort of like slender and slim. She ran a restaurant, and I remember. So our restaurant, Chinese restaurant, quite big, but we open really late after the local clubs shut. Till about 3-4 o'clock in the morning.
Good plan.
That's
so
brave.
We get the worst. So we get like the worst of the worst drunks in. No. And I remember one time this guy, a rugby player, came in.
Oh my God.
So drunk, stripped off naked, and just jumped on the table and started dancing.
What?
My mom. So, I mean, this is how it is in small town Britain. My mom just like very calmly went into the kitchen and came out with got a meat cleaver. And no, listen to this. She went up to him and he said, "Are you going to put that very small dick of yours away, or do you want me to chop it off?"
Brilliant.
Oh my God, that is brilliant. Oh my God. Oh my God, that is brilliant. That's something I would do.
Yeah, she was, and I was just like, I just remember, I just want to high five you, Mum.
And everyone in the restaurant clapped. I mean, oh my God, what did he do?
I mean, everyone just looked. I mean, he was so embarrassed. It wasn't, I mean, the fact that you came out with a meat cleaver obviously scared the shit out of him. But the fact is, she was like, "Are you going to put that tiny little dick of yours, or do you want me to chop the rest?" Like, so that was like a double kind of like punch. Like she absolutely KO'd him there and then in front of like his mates and stuff.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So this is the thing, but this is the thing, right? I think Asians have this image of being weaker. We just, even though we're not, sometimes with certain people who are like dicks, they just think we're weaker and we're so scared we don't speak out. I mean, that is a great story, man.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that he didn't come back in revenge.
No, well, the thing is, my mom's very renowned in town, and people used to come to the restaurant to cause trouble, just so that my mom would like angry.
Oh my God, so funny.
And then they would tip her, and then they would give her a tip.
So she was like,
she's like a show pony, how to go Chinatown.
It's just that weird.
Oh my God. That is funny, man.
Yeah, I've got so many stories of my mom being so fierce. I think another time it was Christmas, and these 16-year-old kids came in the restaurant and started to set the tablecloth on fire.
What?
Oh, for God's sake.
And I was like, fuck. And I said to my mum, these kids set the tablecloth on fire. She was so busy, like we were just absolutely like, she just went and got a spoon, and there was this table of like 16-year-old kids, maybe like 6 or 7 of them. she went round each one with a spoon and whacked them on the head with all her strength. Like a xylophone. And then, right, get the fuck out of my restaurant.
Brilliant.
And did they come back?
I think the next day to apologise because I think my mum knows their mum. So my mum would tell their mum.
Oh my God.
It's like, your son came in here and caused trouble and stuff.
Wow, that is hilarious.
Okay, Tony, so I'm, as I'm learning Cantonese along the way, what's one of your mum's best put downs in Cantonese that you can share with me?
Oh God.
What's the most used words that she say?
The thing was, my mum never really. I think my mum never really swore in front of me. I think it's just her tone was like aggressive enough. She didn't need to like swear. So I think once she did call this woman, this girl, in the restaurant that was causing trouble. Tao hai.
I know that one. Oh.
Yeah. Okay, that means
I said,
he knows.
Oh my God, what is that? I said that. I said, what does that mean? Kind of thing. That was the first time I heard it, and I asked my mum.
What did she say?
Do not ever repeat that. I think she was so angry with this girl.
So that means like smelly pussy, smelly punani. Yes. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. I love swearing in Cantonese. I mean, I love swearing in English as well because it just...
I mean, Chinese cursing, it's so elaborate.
It's an art form.
And funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's like... I mean, it's quite funny. Like, if you just call someone like fucker, that would be like fine. But Chinese would like curse your whole family and generation.
Yeah. They go deep.
They go deep. They go for your mom.
Really kind of...
Because like 屌你老母 is like fuck your mother, right? So it doesn't matter who you are. If you use that is like World War III because you talk about someone's mother. Yeah. It's an art form, man. Seriously, it's.
Then if you finish that off properly with the full sentence.
What do you mean?
屌你老母
屌你老母臭閪
Yes. Yeah. 仲要係死臭閪添啊！
死臭閪 is like dead smelly pussy.
I love
See
Cantonese.
what I mean? Cantonese swearing is so funny. It's so good.
It's like nothing else.
It's just blatant. It's strong, and it tells you exactly how they feel. It's just so brilliant. It's so good. So I better start my day because before we have to pick up Theo at school. Lovely to catch up, and we need to catch up more often. And
you as well.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
And one day we'll come and visit, but Australia's just too damn far to go anywhere.
Yeah. Anyway. I think maybe I will, when I sail, I'll probably be traveling around. So I will definitely put Perth on my bucket list as the place to visit.
Well, or we meet in Hong Kong or Japan or UK or back in London.
Oh, Japan would be amazing.
Let's go to Japan.
Yeah, let's meet in Japan.
Yeah.
All right, Tony, say hi to Eddie, and
I'll
chat to you soon.
Great speaking to you and Jason, and send my love to Theo.
We will. Miss you, love you. Hey, stick around and learn some cool Cantonese slang. Welcome to this week's episode of Canto Banter.
廣東話吹水時間.
I'm your host, Professor Lam.
And I'm your assistant, Professor Theo.
And I'm Jason, a mature student.
Today we're going to teach my husband,
my dad,
some useful Cantonese. Here we go. So the reason we started this because I've only been with this guy for 15 years and all he can do is order dim sum. So I thought it's time for you to step up your Cantonese game.
I'm good at ordering lunch.
So we're going to teach 3 phrases each lesson, and they're very useful and very modern way of talking Cantonese. And the beauty about Cantonese is it's a very harsh language, but it is really funny once you know it.
Right, what do we got up first?
So first up, let's go for something that my mother says to me a lot, and I say to Theo a lot, right? Theo?
Yes.
Which is?
Phai di la.
So, phai di la.
Phai di la.
Even that he's got a bit of an accent, huh?
I know.
You tell him what he should do.
So, you should pronounce or say that again?
Phai di la.
See, he sounds like a...
I don't know how to fix your Guido accent.
Am I supposed to go up or down or...
Phải đi la.
Phải đi la.
Maybe tone the last two words a bit down. So yeah.
Yeah. Phải đi la.
Yeah, that's
All
that's
right.
That's
That's
better. That's better,
except
right?
that there's no way that we
So
can
what does
change
Faidila
it by-
means to Theo?
So that means hurry up or chop chop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I say a lot every day,
Yes.
right?
I'm very familiar with that one.
So-
Unfortunately.
Going back to Theo just mentioned two words, 鬼佬. What does 鬼佬mean, Theo?
And that means it means white people, or I guess I could say blokes.
Yes, 佬 is for describing men or blokes, right? And 鬼佬 means Westerner. So if that's like a Western lady, we'll call her 鬼婆.
Okay.
婆. 婆 means like a woman and also like a granny. So someone who's older. If someone's younger, you just go 鬼仔, which is younger boy.
鬼仔,
鬼妹, which is a younger girl.
鬼妹,
So let's start with 鬼佬,
鬼佬,
鬼婆,
鬼婆,
鬼仔,
鬼仔,
鬼妹.
鬼妹.
How does that sound, Theo?
Oh, that sounds so great though. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I can't help it. You just think, 鬼佬,鬼仔.
Hang on,
It sounds like 鬼仔.
What is 雞仔?
That means extra bonus. That means chicken baby. I don't know.
That doesn't mean that.
That's literal translation.
No, 改仔. No, 改仔 means method, like kind of like tricky method to get away from stuff, or tricky way of it's like a method of resolving a problem.
Ah, okay.
So what Theo's thinking is, oh my god, what you're thinking is 雞仔. That means
Because that sounds so
little
different
chicken.
to what you said before.
雞仔and 雞仔is different. Okay, let's not go
There we
there. Let's keep to the 鬼佬, right?
let's
Okay.
not.
Right.
So the third one is a really interesting one. Is 有冇搞錯啊? Say it.
有冇搞錯啊?
Okay, yeah,
有冇
that
搞
sounded
yeah,
better.
有冇搞錯啊?
有冇搞錯啊?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. Theo, what does that mean?
So that means I think that means what's your problem, or
It also means that, is there a mistake?
So where am I going to use that?
So basically, if let's say you're in a restaurant and a waiter comes over with a drink and he or she accidentally spill all over you, your first initial reaction might be 有冇搞錯啊? And then you kind of feel bad. You go, oh, don't worry about it. 唔緊要啦, 唔緊要啦. So you just go, 喂,有冇搞錯啊? So it's kind of like saying to someone, is that a mistake? Are you kidding? That kind of tone.
Right.
So Theo, can you repeat that again?
你有冇搞錯?
Yeah, 有冇搞錯啊? So when you say that, you have to put a question mark kind of tone at the end. 喂,有冇搞錯啊?
Okay, so it's all in the delivery.
Yes.
Yeah, it kind of either lasts longer if it's a question, or it goes higher if the tone goes a bit higher if it's a question.
Yes, correct. So what have we learned today? 快啲啦,鬼佬,鬼婆,鬼仔,鬼妹,
Help me!
and then 有冇搞錯? So the 鬼佬
Right.
can repeat it, please.
This is test.
Yes.
Okay.
Hurry up.
快啲啦,快啲啦,鬼佬,
Mm-hmm.
鬼妹, 鬼婆,
Mm-hmm.
鬼婆 was the second one. Sorry. 鬼仔.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He just said turtle 仔. 龜仔. 龜 means turtle. 鬼仔. 鬼仔.
鬼仔.
Yep. And lastly,
有冇搞錯?
yeah, 有冇搞錯啊? So that's it for today. Until next time. Bye.
And
If you enjoy my chat today, please tell a friend, write a review, and give me a 5-star rating to help me climb the chart so I can get the exclusive deal. as if. Follow me on Don't Make Me Call Her on all social media platforms. Don't Make Me Call Her podcast series is produced by Hero Production. Music by Lindsay Lai at lindsaylai.com. Thank you to all my guests. A big thank you to Jason and Theo Capobianco for joining me each week. Now, pick up the phone and call someone you care about. Bye!